Joining me now on the Knicks Film School Podcast, someone that I've gotten to know very well over the course of the last year, much to my benefit and much to Knicks Film School's benefit, because it's really added something to what it is that we do here or are trying to do in the larger Knicks Film School project. And more importantly than that, he's a great sports fan and a great guy, and I enjoy hanging out with him and bullshitting with him. I guess I'll just introduce you as the manager of T Squared Social, Daniel Rovin. How you doing?
Wow, man, the intro for me, great. Usually I'm listening to this podcast and I kind of zoned out for a second and thought I was just listening, and then you said my name. Here I am. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Giddy up. Learned that from you, by the way.
I don't know where I got that from.
Do you know where you got that from?
I mean, Kramer always said it on Seinfeld. I don't think that's where I took it from, though. I think I don't know where the hell I got it from.
Another manager I worked with used to say it too, so I love it. Giddy up. Such a classic, like let's ride, ready to go. But yeah, giddy up, man. I right back at you all the praise. Love it.
Talking about a manager you used to work with, we should ditch the plan for this episode and just tell bar war stories for the next half hour.
I thought that's what we were doing.
I don't think there are very few things that or roads that I will not go down on air. Old stories of my old bar life back when I did this full time or did what you did full time. I will not air any of those.
Hey, well, you know, see what happens when we do these bounce pop-ups, and yeah, there's stories. There's stories that we could have from this week, but a few more Juan pleases probably before we get rolling on those.
All right, so we're gonna talk some Knicks in a bit. We're gonna do a trivia game. As we've said already a few times, we're getting close to celebrating our 1 year anniversary of our partnership with you guys. And for anybody who's listening on the podcast and not watching on the YouTube, speaking of like, what can T Squared do for you? You're sitting in front of the giant screen in the back, which is where we obviously watch all the games, with the 6 mini screens alongside of it. There's a whole wall of TVs to the left of that. All the TVs above the bar. It's the best sports bar in the city. Talking about when we got this started and the vibes in here, or the vibes in T Squared that night, it was fortuitous. I'll be the first person to admit it, because when we planned that watch party, I don't even know if they had started the winning streak yet. But they were going into that night with the 9 straight wins, and they lost that first game, or they lost that game against the Lakers, but it was an awesome atmosphere. And again, having had a past life in the bar business, I had only seen that phenomenon where you have like a college alumni group. Like a bar I used to attend at was like an FSU bar, and like anybody who was an FSU transplant or graduate in the city would like go there, and you could get that. But I've never seen it with a pro team, and honestly, I almost think it's harder to do with a pro New York team, because you could watch pro New York teams anywhere. So it's harder than you would think to have that sort of phenomenon for like a Knicks or even like a Yankees or a Mets or something like that.
Well, I feel like MSG helps us out by that game was literally at game time. It was $800 to get in the door. So, I mean, you know, because again, we were talking about this the other day. We kind of were planning these around away games, but it might actually be more feasible to buy a plane ticket, get a ticket at wherever you might be going, than just buy the ticket at MSG. And if you're looking for somewhere to go, like, look, well, I know, because the cab driver doesn't like to curse. I was going to curse, but T Squared effed up. You know, they hired one of us, right? I'm one of you. This is not
yes,
like
you are.
some yes, this is kind of corporate in a way, but we have a really great infrastructure that likes people that like to do fun things, right? So somehow they let this be our living room for the weekends, and like there couldn't be a better place. If you like football, you like the Knicks and gambling, and there's a lot of TVs. So yeah. I know we have some Knicks Film School patrons that come other days of the week because they like to watch the TVs and like to hang out with the crew. So I mean, I know it looks like a really fancy bar, and you might think you have to have membership or something to come in, but I mean, we're just part of the family, and we're just trying to, you know, have good vibes over here at T Squared. And I should also disclaim, because who knows what I'm going to say on this beep on this podcast. All of my opinions are not Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods opinions. Let me just disclaim that. So if I said something like the RJ Barrett trade was a salary dump, that doesn't mean that Tiger Woods actually thinks that. You know what I mean? Just want to say, because I'll say something crazy.
I kind of want I wish I had it in my head that all of your opinions were that of Tiger or Justin Timberlake, and then it was up to me to figure out which of those two. I wonder which of those two like is a bigger NBA fit. Well,
Timberlake's a Grizzly. Yeah, he's a big Grizzlies guy, and I'm not
and
sure.
And then Tiger was a Magic guy, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I think Timberlake would be a bigger.
Timberlake probably. But I saw him in concert at the Barclays Center with my wife a couple months ago. He's
that's my
very
boss,
talented performer.
Yeah, thankfully the tour didn't get ruined. See, that's the kind of things I can't say, which I'm saying are my opinions. If only every guest came in here and thought everything wasn't directly Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake. If Justin Timberlake knew that shrimp costs $8 on our salads, what would he think? You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that we get.
I would love to know. Mostly, I care about what he thinks about. Are there too many 3-pointers in the league today? These are the questions, the hard hitting questions that I want to ask him.
I'll next time I see him, I'll bring that up.
Please do. Okay, let's talk a little Knicks before we get to the trivia. So we're recording this Wednesday or late morning. A colleague came in this morning, was at the game, told me that the largest round of applause easily was for Sydney Sweeney. So that was appropriate. I just want to ask you generally, because you watch every game, what are your thoughts on the team and where they're at? Are you happy? You excited? You worried? Like, give me your read on it.
I guess Andrew didn't really clue you in. I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm a Josh Hart fan, right? But because he's on the Knicks, I'm a player fan. That's how it is these days. So I can't imagine rooting for a team that doesn't have Josh Hart on it. So wherever he goes, I go. Wasn't a great game for us personally because 10-7 and 7 is a little bit lower than we'd like. But that game was never going to be easy. It's the Nets, right? I went into the game thinking it was going to be probably under 5 points, and it was right there. When they had 3 points with about 3 minutes left in the fourth, I was thinking that they were probably going to actually blow the game. They had 8 straight versus the Nets, right?
That was the ninth, and it was 3 points scored in the first 9 minutes of the fourth.
Right.
9 minutes and 1 second. Cat's bucket was a 2:59 left of the fourth.
And the Nets couldn't make a bucket either, thankfully. So if the Nets could have made, I think at the time that we're talking about, it was 13-3 in the fourth. So the Nets had made up 10 points, but they could have easily pulled away while the Knicks were shit in the bed for the first 10 minutes of that quarter.
I never feel too bad. And anytime you get a win and the win involves making like some plays, and the Knicks absolutely made some plays last night, I never feel too bad because how many, like literally any night of the week, you could turn on a game and you could find a team that is allegedly trying to win games that has an atrocious loss. Like last night, I know Tyler Hero didn't play, but the Miami Heat got blown out in their own arena by the previously 14-win Portland Trailblazers. I feel like it's just that kind of a league right now, and maybe that's the apologist in me, but I don't know. I just have it. I never feel bad after a win.
Well, we fully expected to wake up this morning and look at the box score and see D'Angelo Russell 7 for 12 from 3, and so for me, anytime you're not just getting, we've seen it this year. Sometimes these teams don't miss. Sometimes these teams tee it up from 3 and don't miss. The Nets can be, any NBA team can be one of those teams. So I feel like I was thinking about this yesterday. What good problems to have where we're at right now in our Knicks fandom. We have such better problems than what we've had for almost the entirety of our, like you look at the record and they're on a 50-win pace, right? But then we look at it with our eyes and we're like, yeah, there's a problem here. There's a problem there. These things take time to gel, right? But there's moments where Cat just looks like an unbelievable offensive force that we've never had before. Jalen Brunson, So I thought Mikal was, could have had a revenge game yesterday. Didn't have
defensively, he kind of. I think the defense has picked up. Yeah.
So I didn't listen to the post game show last night. Who was the star of the game? Cat.
My stars were. I ended up giving Cat 3 stars. I gave OG 2, and then it should have been Hart, but I just I value fourth quarter buckets. I set
you up for that, Johnny. I set you up for that.
Yeah, so Hart had the biggest play of the game, the rebound, which was a Josh Hart play to a T, and as we collectively right now worship in the church of Josh Hart, that should be the subject of today's gospel. But you got to make buckets down the stretch, and Brunson, I don't know, I always put extra weight on that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, they won the game. This team, if they can get to the point where they routinely beat all the bad teams and win these close games against subpar opponents, then I think, I know we got a little shell shocked by that week where they got obliterated by the Thunder and all that. But, these things take time. I think another huge test is going to be, do we have a watch party for the Celtics game coming up the next time they play?
Andrew will fact check that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. February 8th against the Celtics.
Right. So
go.
that's right. Not that we talked about that 2 minutes before the podcast, me and Andrew. But yeah, so it's because we have one next week, the Laker game, and then that Celtics game. I think hopefully they can string some wins together before that one, get another kind of litmus test game, and hopefully they don't shit the bed again because, I think we're all sick. We're all waiting for the playoffs, right? This is kind of one of those years. We want to see something good before the playoffs. We want to see some real gelling against some good teams. And I mean, I guess we're getting a little bit anxious look, it's already January 22nd.
But to your point about the OKC disaster, I just looked it up. There have been 2 games this season which have not been a competitive game in the fourth quarter. And I not doing the promotion for T Squared any favors. But two of them were.
It was our fault.
It was
it's Tiger Woods' fault
jointly.
Yeah.
It was the season opener against Boston, which ring night. I kind of want to toss that out, and then the second OKC game, which was disaster, and Oklahoma City was firing on all
Can I add
cylinders.
another one? Because I was 2 rows back for this game, but the Cleveland game in the Garden where they had them in the first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter basically was all Cleveland.
A game in the fourth quarter. It was. I'm saying,
yeah, it was until it was, and Cleveland ran away with it in the last 8 minutes of the game. I mean, I don't know. It felt like that. I had a little too many, $45 vodka sodas from the second row, so maybe it just felt worse than it was. But
you do the vodka soda. I just do the what's the canned? What do they have? High noons there at MSG?
Yeah, they do. No, they have. I don't know, but I like to keep it clean. I don't like the. Yeah.
You like seeing what's poured in your beverage.
We're just trying to get back to the bar stories as much as we. Andrew's gonna hate this, but no. Back to the Knicks, right? So.
Back to the Knicks. No, I think that with 2 exceptions, when they've entered the fourth quarter in every game this season, it's been a game. So you can tell me they haven't beaten good teams and they've only beaten the bad ones, but that's how teams amass 50 wins. And I don't know, man. I if you look at the last thing I'll say, and we'll move on to trivia. If you look at all NBA teams where they could be on it's like a bell curve. And on one end of the bell curve, you're crap and you're just not a good team and you're trying to get to be better. And on the other end of the bell curve, you're like the Phoenix Suns, who are leveraged to the hilt and just traded their one remaining asset for 3 crappier assets so they could try to get rid of the guy they just traded for a year ago, who is now the worst asset in the league, to try to get another guy who, the minute they sign him to an extension, if they get Jimmy Butler, he'll become one of the worst assets. It's this thing could be a lot worse in either direction. The fact that they're in the middle of the bell curve somewhere with a chance to rise to the top of it, I know we always want the most, but
the core is locked in. I think that's the biggest thing. These 4 guys, look back at the Heatles. That took time. They didn't just show up and win the championship, right? It took a year. That was Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Ray Allen. This is not even that. Obviously, it's going to take some time. They're locked in. We should be happy that we have this experience, and hopefully there's no Michael Jordan team that's there, and there's more parity in the league for these 4 or 5 years where they might have a window. I think that's all we can hope for.
Is there a Ray Allen out there this summer who is willing to come on a minimum-ish, maybe taxpayer mid-level contract? That's a conversation for a different day.
Or move Mitch, however that works.
There's multiple ways to do it. I'm sure Brock Aller is already hard at work figuring that out. Okay, let's do some trivia, and we're gonna bring up our good friend, fellow Mets fan.
Yes, fellow Mets fan.
Don't bring that up.
Daniel, we did a little Mets segment at the end of the postgame last night.
Yeah, I jumped on to laugh at the Nets, and he asked me what the latest on Pete was, and I told him it's the exact same place it was when you saw us on Friday.
Well, me and Andrew have had plenty of conversations about Pete Alonso. He knows where I stand on that.
Yes, and I know one of us is right and one of us is wrong, and we will
have me on Mets therapy and find out. Let's go. Come on.
Or people can come down to T Squared and talk to us about the Mets. We'll have the full conversation in person. Why not? Speaking
Just
of,
not with Kevin.
Not with Kevin. That Kevin actually does come down to T Squared to have the conversation with us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
But literally every time I walk into the bar, you guys are talking Mets. Doesn't matter what's going on.
John, that's usually what I do when I'm not on this podcast. I'm talking Mets.
Yeah.
So.
We've had a rough football season too. I know you're not like a big football guy, but for us, we had a very brutal few months. So the Mets
my Lions just lost in the NFC title game, or the one game short of the NFC title game.
Yeah, your Lions, huh?
Yeah, my Lions that
Well, I'm a Washington. Obviously, I'm a Commanders.
Yes, left hand up. Go Commanders, baby.
Let's go.
Josh Hart, we got this on Sunday.
Honestly, I tried to find one of those big Washington hats to wear for this, but Lids didn't have any. I was pissed.
Oh, well. So one thing we have to set the record straight for, and it'll lead right into trivia. I'm tired of people talking about the watch party curse. All right. Last year, we lost that Lakers game, and then we won the next one against these same Brooklyn Nets. And then Daniel, help me out, went 5 consecutive wins in the playoffs. So
listen, man, all I know is it's not my fault because I'm here every day. So, whoever's fault it is, it's not mine. And that's all that matters.
You're as far as you're concerned, any win you take credit for, any loss is whoever's theirs fault.
I've been playing jury a lot here today. If I need to come back on just to adjudicate some issues you guys are having too, and some with us versus the listeners too, I'm totally down to adjudicate all that.
Right. What?
So what was our final record last year? 5-1, or was it something else?
We went 6-3 last year.
6-3. We're 3-4 this year, right?
Yes.
So 9-7.
What's up?
That is a much better record than in person.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just keep it here instead of MSG because I think we're winless over there, right?
Well, so the MSG event, I hear you. All right, we may never do that again. But as far as T Squared is concerned,
9-7.
Not only has there been a lot of success, to John's point, 9-7, we saw them clinch against Philly in the building. I was in T Squared when they clinched.
I wasn't there for that, so maybe it is me.
Daniel was out for that because you were sick that night.
I shouldn't have brought that up. That's on me.
So as far as I'm concerned, everybody, there is no watch party curse. We're just in a slump. And not for nothing, I'm going to blame the Knicks for said slump, or maybe the NBA schedule, not us at a bar multiple streets away.
No, we have the power. Andrew, we have the power.
We do have the power. The power of Josh compels you.
That's right. The power of Josh compels us.
So I have a trivia segment based on the playoffs. Since the decision, that's one of the checkpoints that I like to go to. So since the 2010-2011 season until now, 16 different Knicks have scored 100 playoff points.
Jesus Christ.
Since the decision, since 2010?
So the last 14 years. Okay.
Right.
We're going to go back and forth. We'll go back and forth until all the answers are read. And we'll see who has...
Hold on. Starting with the 2011 playoffs.
There's 16 of them. So there's 16 possible answers. You guys can get as many wrong as you want.
Paper?
Yes. That's usually how John does his trivia process.
All right. Well, I'm gonna write it down on my phone, but I'm not gonna cheat. I promise.
I believe you. We don't lie to each other here in the T Squared Knicks Film School.
Wait, so starting with the 2011 playoffs?
Yes.
Okay. Well, obviously, because they didn't make the playoffs in 2010.
There you go.
Okay. Who goes first?
I will let our guest go first. Daniel, who's your first guess?
100 points. Well, I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson.
Because he
did like 2 fucking games.
You're not wrong. Number 1 on this list with 727 points scored.
That means I go.
That's yes, back and forth.
Carmelo Anthony.
Look at you. Your first guest being Carmelo Anthony. I'm proud of you. 589 playoff points scored. Second on this list.
All right. Well, then let's go J.R. Smith, baby.
J.R. Smith is correct. Number 7 on this list with 218 points scored.
218. That's pretty good. Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, 5th on this list with 256 points scored.
100 points. Let's go. Amari
Stoudemire, 13th on this list out of 16. 134. Yes,
that was
very close.
Fuck. All right. I guess I'm cursing on this podcast too.
134 points for Amari.
Yes.
I would have guessed that.
I was just snuck it in there.
By the way, Daniel, I appreciate you not wanting to curse. The way that story went was John said his cab driver doesn't want us to curse, and then moments later we were cursing. There was profanity.
Okay, no,
so
I mean,
it is.
I do try. I try.
A for effort. F for the words that are said.
I'll go with my obviously my favorite former Knick, RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett, 4th on this list, ahead of Julius Randle.
Whoa.
With 284 points.
RJ's 4th? All right, I have
ahead of Julius.
All right, man, it's getting dicey here. So I have one.
It gets late early. Yeah.
Think had 100. Oh man, it's only one series.
Cat 100. What?
No, had.
Well, no. I'm thinking of that Hawks series of who really the best player was in that series, and did he have 100 points in those 5 games? I'm going to say Derrick Rose.
Incorrect. That's strike one. Jonathan Macri.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante DiVincenzo is correct.
Yeah.
6th on this list. John has a 4-3 lead. It's going to say something. If only, Daniel, you had someone on the wall behind you on the big screen.
Oh, fuck this. I guess I get shit. He has 100 playing. All those threes. He only hits them in the playoffs. I'm going to say Ronaldo, but Josh Hart.
Josh Hart. Josh Hart, 3rd on this list with 303
Are you
points.
kidding me?
Dead
I mean, he should be number. The fact that you even had to tell me to guess that.
Just bet Josh Hart overs on rebounds during the season and points during the playoffs. Take the overs.
That's what I said. That's third.
Third this deck over this stretch.
That's why we always bet Josh Hart overs, because he plays so many minutes.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. He doesn't leave the game
every minute of the game. It's crazy.
Macri,
okay. I'm up. Okay.
Yes.
Which direction do I want to go here?
Honestly, crazy.
There are 8 left.
Yeah. Alec Burks.
Alec Burks is correct.
Because he was on 2.
9th on this list with 159 points. And yes, John, the Pacers series put him over.
That guy scored 20 whatever points in Game 7 last year.
John is leading 5-4. Daniel, you're up.
Oh, man. Let's go with... I'm deciding between 2. I'm going to go with...
I think there's an easy one in here, but
There's an easy one? I'm still blanking.
I think so. Unless I'm misremembering my timeline. No, I don't think I am.
You didn't answer.
What about Shumpert?
Iman Shumpert is correct. Iman Shumpert, 14th on this list with 112 points. Well done,
I actually
Daniel.
would have thought he'd be higher.
Well, I'm just trying to think of guys who literally were on those teams that played 2 rounds. Like, that's pretty much what I'm trying to think of.
This is the guy that I was thinking of, and I'll throw it out there right now, is Tyson Chandler.
Tyson Chandler, incorrect. Tyson Chandler, 99 points.
Oh my God. I was actually, because obviously I'm thinking of that team, and Derrick
Rose had 97, by the way.
Okay.
So 3 points shy.
Derrick Rose had 97?
Mm-hmm. So both of you just missed. Daniel, you have a chance
17
again.
and 18. That's great.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about that then.
Okay. Again, I opened the door for you.
Yeah, you did. I think there's some that are right around there.
Think recently. Think of the recent teams, including guys who may have gotten traded not too long ago.
Yeah, I know. Quickly didn't really do anything. He was hurt for that series.
But he was hurt for part of the Miami series, but he had the Atlanta series
Fine,
under his
I'll
belt.
say quickly. Fine, quickly.
Manuel quickly, 16th on this list.
Let's
the very
go. He's
last
last.
player with 101 points. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that
was a Josh Hart moment of you, John. Give me the assist. He would appreciate that.
It's also a Josh Hart moment in that Emmanuel quickly had 101 points, just crossing the barrier that you need to hit the over.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I'll go with Hartenstein.
Isaiah Hartenstein, 11th on this list with 144 points. Score is 6-6.
Shit. Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd incorrect. Jason Kidd. Let me see how far down I gotta go.
Oh my God! Don't do that to me.
Apologies, but Jason Kidd not in the top 37. Doesn't have 20. It looks like. Really,
that was a bad guess.
I am shocked.
The name did cross my mind.
Cross your mind? All right, that makes
I
me
will
feel a
say the
little bit
name
better.
crossed my mind, albeit briefly. Thinking I don't know. I don't think he got there because it was only the 1 year? No, it was. It was just the 1 year. So I don't think he got there. So I'm gonna go with another answer from the current iteration.
Shit, you might take mine.
Of the team, and I'm trying to think about guys who have been here the longest.
Jason Kidd.
This is a bit of a shot.
Real quick, Jason Kidd had 11 points, by the way.
There you go.
That's what okay. I'm
You're
misremembering.
Good? You're good.
Jeez. He was on that team, right?
He was.
I'm thinking he got there last year. I'm going to go with Deuce.
Deuce McBride, 10th on this list.
There you go.
With 146 points. Had like 30 in one game, or close to like 27 in one game. Game one.
Yeah. All you need is like one of those, and then if you're here for a while on top of one of the big games, then that's probably going to be enough.
So three more.
Right. Fucking 3 more. What numbers do we have left? Like on the list?
Number 8, number 12, and number 15.
Good God.
The number 8 is bugging me out because I am kind of at a loss for who that is.
Yeah, we're missing a big one.
You've got 3 of the bottom 4, so you're hitting the ones that are at the buzzer right now.
Yeah, because I'm actually doing worse at this. I'm pulling names out of my hat. Let's see. All right. I'm going for another bottom one. I know he was there for the beginning. Fuck, this is not going to be right.
Oh, I think there's okay. I know my next answer. I don't know if it's going to be right, but I know my next answer.
I know that this isn't right, but I'm hoping he's 15th and like he just had like maybe one game or a few like 15 pointers. I'm going Landry Fields, baby.
Landry Fields, incorrect. Landry Fields, let me see.
He was on that team too, right?
He got moved.
43 points for Landry Fields.
Yeah. He
was better than Jason Kidd. Let's go.
I'm going to go for my next answer with Obi.
Obi Toppin, 15th on this list.
Obi Toppin's on the list?
Obi Toppin, 109 playoff points.
All right, I'm cooked. Good Lord.
So Daniel, John is up 8-6. You need these last 2 to tie.
So I can't get any more right, and Daniel needs to get both to tie or to win?
Both to tie. You're up 8-6. So the most we can leave with is a tie.
And we don't have 8 yet, right?
No, we don't have 8 or 12.
8 or 12, which is freaking wild. Again, that we don't have 8.
I know.
And 8 I'm going to go out on a limb and say 8 has to be someone from the earlier iteration of the team, from the Melo teams.
You don't have number 8 or number 12?
He's not giving us the clue.
I'm not. I gave you Josh Hart because it was too obvious, but
it has to be. It has. I guess it doesn't, but I think it has to be.
Well, all right, I'm going to guess, and then I'll have lost, so then we can talk about it. I'm going to guess. I think you're right. It has to be from one of those teams. I could just talk about it out loud because I can't really win. I don't think it's Tyson Chandler because he got hurt and probably
John said Tyson Chandler. Yeah,
John
Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler's out.
Chandler had 99 points, so that actually be very close.
Right. He was very close. Right. Let's go with. I mean, there's no way Novak had 100 points. There's not a chance.
I thought about. He was only here for 2 years.
He would be the last one. Yeah, maybe. And that meant he was never hurt. He played all the games. If he had like 15 points, no, there's no way, right? That many points.
It's as good a guess as any.
Is that your
All
guess?
right, I'm gonna say Novak. Yeah,
Steve Novak, 30 points.
yeah. There's no way because he didn't play. I mean,
It was a guess. It was a guess.
All right. Well, at least John was like,
John would have co-signed a guess. Yeah.
I would at this point. I'm frankly very embarrassed that I still can't get 8th, but and I don't think this guy is 8th. I am going to guess, maybe against my better judgment, but I am going to guess Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson, 88 points.
yeah.
So Mitchell Robinson not on the list.
People are yelling at their iPhones and shit because they know and we don't. I love that. You know, I've been on the other side, so actually, let's make them squirm. Let's just keep guessing wrong shit. So to make them upset.
That's a great idea.
I'll give you each one more incorrect answer each.
All right. Fucking one. You know what? There's no way OG had enough points, right? Because he got hurt in the next fucking round. I'll say OG.
OG Anunoby, 12th on this list. OG Anunoby. 136 points. A lot of points scored by OG. Also, he had 29 when he got hurt against the Pacers.
Right, you only need the one game.
You only need the one big game, and he had the one big game.
Oh, we still don't have 8. We still don't have 8.
John has a guess, and if he doesn't get it right, then you have one guess to tie it. Pressure's on, Macri.
I'm actually proud that collectively we got this close.
There's one missing one, and to your point, I'm positive everybody is yelling at their phones.
At their TV. Yeah.
You're positive everybody's yelling.
I think we're at the point where there's some names you haven't said that are one name in particular.
It must be the earlier. It must be. We must be forget because we're too intimate with the new teams. It must be from that squad. And we've said damn near everybody, I feel like.
I'm going through in my head the new. It's not Grimes didn't do it. I mean, I said no. Okay. No, I know. I just frankly don't have a great guess, so I am going to go with. Yeah, I just don't have a great guess.
Shit, I have one. I don't think it's right though. If you're saying people are screaming at their devices, I'm not sure this is right.
Think about what I said. Just if you think you got a good guess.
Well, because I remember one game.
Look, John's guessing. Hold on, don't say anything yet. Don't say anything yet.
I'm looking at the 2022 series and thinking, is there anyone else from that series that I'm not remembering, who was still around in 23? I don't know. This is wrong. Raymond Felton.
Raymond Felton, 8th on this list.
Oh.
Well done, Jon Macri.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Felton was here for
two rounds.
Which playoff series?
For the 2013 against the Celtics and then 2013 against the Pacers. In game 4 of that series, he scored 27 points because an injured J.R. Smith was a suspended J.R. Smith was not able to participate.
That was in round 1 against the Celtics?
That was in round 1. In the next game, he had 21 points alone in the funeral game where the Knicks won all black. In that series alone that went 6 games, he had double digits in each game.
I was at the Felton game. That's why I remembered it. And then I was like, shit, one game in that time. Fuck, good call, Johnny, because I had you.
I was at game 2 of the Pacers series.
In which he scored 14 points.
That is the most anonymous, decent scoring playoffs in the history of the team.
Yep. Had 168 total in that series.
People weren't on Raymond Felton. I don't trust you. I don't trust our listeners to be on Raymond Felton right
I
there.
think by the time we get through all the names that are said, I think people will have remembered. Yes.
You know what it was? It's the fact that the whole time his name popped in my head when you first asked the question because he was here for 2 stints. But then you're like, no, wait a minute. He got traded before the playoffs in one of those stints. So he was only around for one playoffs because I knew he was only on the 12-13 team. I was like, there's no way. he scored that many points.
So to your point about volume, the guy also played in 12 playoff games and was the starting point guard in all 12 of those playoff games.
Yeah, he was. I mean,
Guys,
shit, I was going to say Chris Copeland over him.
Even Tony Douglas crossed my mind because I'm like, well, he did play, right? He probably had more points than some of the guys I
Tony
named.
Douglas never. Oh, Tony Douglas had 45 points.
That's what I'm saying. He got halfway there, and we didn't even.
Chris Copeland had 37 points.
There you go.
All right. Well, this was good. This was fun.
169 for Raymond Felton. Once a Nick, always a Nick.
169. There you go. Love that dude. So there was a last thing, the big drop off after Smith, right? After JR, between JR Smith and Felton, right?
J.R. Smith at 218. Yeah. And then you go Raymond Felton 159, Alec Burks. Raymond Felton 169, Alec Burks 159, Deuce, and Isaiah Hartenstein.
I feel good that we got the whole list combined. I'm taking that as a win. That was
whole
pretty
list. Good. There you go.
And I don't feel terrible about my wrong guesses because they were all at least in the vicinity. Okay, I could hold my head high.
I'll say this: if you enjoyed this trivia centered around the Knicks, Daniel, does T-Squared Social ever have trivia nights?
You know what? We might every Friday. We do a lot of fun stuff at T-Squared Social. You know, we have golf simulators, we have darts, we have duck pin bowling, we have TVs, we have trivia night every Friday with New York City Trivia League, and obviously we do watch parties with Knicks Film School. And I got to say, so before we go, I have this thing. I want to promote this. So
I wanted to see it.
Yeah. It's right here, baby. This is a Fanatics box. These things retail for like $700. There's a list of you can look up these boxes. It has the list of all the people that are that have jerseys signed in here. It's got every single team. It's got legends, got inscription ones, got one of ones. So this we're going to be giving away at the Laker watch party, right? So if you come, we'll probably hound you for a Google review or something to sign you up, something fun like that. And then we're going to make you open it on the spot. That's part of the stipulation here. Got to open the box on the spot. If you win, you have to open it. And if it's a Jason Tatum signed jersey, whatever happens, you know?
I am going to bring a Knicks Film School mystery bag that may or may not contain a Knicks Film School sticker. And after the person wins that, I'm going to ask them, would you like to keep your gift or would you like to exchange it for the mystery bag? And whatever that person decides to do is on them. And that is what is going to what's going to happen.
So another layer. Let's go.
Another layer. It may or may contain something other than the sticker. I don't know. Okay. This is great. Andrew, do we forget anything?
Yeah, we'll be giving away a beanie or maybe a couple beanies as well. Knicks Film School beanies. Maybe we'll even give away one of our Knicks Film School hats. Okay. Baseball caps.
And everybody who comes will get one of the Knicks Film School stickers. Just, throw it on top.
There you go.
Okay. Daniel, thank you for taking time out, man. I know you're getting ready for lunch hour and the whole thing. Seriously, I've told you personally, but I'll just say on here, appreciate you guys doing everything you do for us. It's been a lot of fun, and it's a great place to watch a game, frankly.
Listen, man, we appreciate you guys. We hope this partnership lasts forever, and thanks for having me on. Love to come on anytime you'll have me. Trivia is fun. I gotta get a win next time, but
for the 2-year anniversary, we'll run it back.
There you go. Perfect. 2 year. Let's go, dude. We got to actually get with scheduling department. Make sure they schedule Lakers for the first Saturday in February next year. So perfect.
Got to keep the tradition going.
Exactly.
All right. Great stuff. I will see you in a little bit more than a week. And hopefully everybody listening will see you not only at the Lakers watch party, again, celebrating the 1-year anniversary and with all those giveaways, but at any other future watch parties we do. And as always, thanks for checking out another episode.
And come by and mention Knicks Film School. You'll get a free beer. That's still valid. Not during the watch party, because that's kind of like, everyone's there for Knicks Film School. We get that. Come another time and ask for Daniel. I'm always here. I basically live here. So yeah, come and say hi for sure.